Gentlemen, if you're over 60 and you found yourself wondering, is this really just aging? I want to stop you right there. Slower mornings, weaker legs, dulling energy, a quiet distance where intimacy once thrived. You may chalk it up to getting older, but the truth is far more empowering. What if I told you that your body isn't giving up? It's just waiting for you to give it what it needs. That with one simple, science-backed routine, a daily step you can start tomorrow morning, you could reignite circulation, return confidence in the bedroom, and restore the energy and strength that's quietly been slipping away? In this video, I'm not offering hype. I'm sharing evidence. Backed by decades of clinical experience and the latest research in men's vascular health, what you'll hear today can change the way you age, but only if you stick with me to the end. Because by the time we finish, you'll not only understand why things feel different after 60, you'll know exactly how to get them back, naturally, safely, powerfully. So, I want to offer a science-backed strategy that is both simple and surprisingly powerful. It does not require prescriptions, invasive procedures, or uncomfortable conversations, unless you choose to have them. What we're talking about is a single daily addition to your routine, something you may already have in your kitchen. When used correctly, it can support blood flow throughout the body, particularly to areas where circulation matters most, not only for performance, but for energy, clarity, and overall vitality. So take a deep breath, sit back, and let's walk through a plan that could restore more than just blood flow. It could restore your faith in what your body is still truly capable of. You see, the shift many men describe after 60, fatigue, slower recovery, reduced stamina, is often misattributed to aging itself. But beneath the surface, one of the key physiological drivers is something far more modifiable: vascular health, specifically the function of the endothelium, the cellular lining of your blood vessels. Now, allow me to explain this more thoroughly. With aging, and especially in those who've had years of suboptimal nutrition, low physical activity, or silent metabolic imbalances, the endothelium begins to lose its responsiveness. Normally, it produces nitric oxide, a molecule essential for blood vessel dilation, a process that allows blood to reach your muscles, brain, organs, and yes, the tissues involved in sexual function. When the endothelium falters, this signaling weakens and blood flow becomes sluggish. Think of those blood vessels as highways and nitric oxide as the traffic lights. When everything works well, the lights turn green the moment blood is needed. But with endothelial dysfunction, those lights are delayed or worse, stuck on red. This leads to cold extremities, reduced stamina, poor recovery, and in the pelvis, inconsistency during intimate moments. Now here's the encouraging part. The endothelium is not passive in aging. It can heal. It can regenerate. Functional recovery is absolutely possible with the right support, and today we're going to explore one of the most evidence-supported natural tools available: curcumin, the active compound found in turmeric. Clinical research now clearly demonstrates that high-quality curcumin extracts provided in a bioavailable form, meaning they are processed for improved absorption, can dramatically enhance endothelial function, reduce chronic low-grade inflammation, and optimize nitric oxide signaling. These are not abstract benefits. These are biochemical effects that support real, measurable improvement in circulation, energy, cognitive function, and sexual health. But let me clarify, this is not about using the turmeric powder that's been sitting on your shelf for 3 years. For a true therapeutic effect, we need a standardized curcumin extract, preferably one that contains a high concentration of active curcuminoids and is paired with an absorption enhancer such as piperine, found in black pepper. This combination has been shown in peer-reviewed studies to enhance absorption by up to 200%, ensuring that the compound reaches your bloodstream and exerts its targeted effects. It's also essential to take curcumin the right way. In my practice, I advise patients to take it in the morning, with a meal that includes a healthy fat, such as olive oil, avocado, or eggs. This ensures optimal absorption as curcumin is fat-soluble. I strongly recommend a measured dose in either a paste, liquid, or high-potency capsule form, not raw or culinary turmeric powder. The results can begin subtly, warmer hands and feet, steadier morning energy, a more robust response to exercise, and eventually enhanced performance where it matters most. Importantly, these changes are not just physical. As energy and reliability return, so does confidence, connection, and mental clarity. I've had countless patients humbled and uplifted by these changes, not just for themselves, but for their relationships and quality of life. Now let's take this a step further. Curcumin's physiological benefits compound when combined with the right dietary framework. If you're looking to maximize the effects on circulation, I encourage you to consider pairing your morning ritual with something I discuss regularly in clinic, the Mediterranean-style diet. This eating pattern, backed by mountains of clinical data, is rich in vegetables, leafy greens, legumes, olive oil, berries, oily fish, whole grains, and modest amounts of lean protein, predominantly poultry and eggs. It delivers key polyphenols, antioxidants, and nitrates, which further boost nitric oxide production and enhance curcumin's anti-inflammatory action. The synergy between curcumin and the nutrient-rich Mediterranean diet builds a powerful foundation for metabolic resilience, vascular health, and hormonal balance. In fact, studies show that even a single Mediterranean-style meal can begin to improve endothelial responsiveness in a matter of hours. Over weeks and months, the changes deepen. I've had men in their 60s and 70s tell me they feel younger, stronger, and more in control than they have in years. And there is a good reason for that. Their vascular health is recovering, their hormonal signaling is stabilizing, and their body is finally working with them, not against them. Now, a quick note on safety. Like any compound that affects blood flow and inflammation, curcumin is not suitable for everyone in every scenario. If you are currently on anticoagulants, have gallbladder disease, are preparing for surgery, or dealing with advanced cardiovascular conditions, a one-on-one consultation with your healthcare provider is essential before beginning any supplementation. Additionally, it's wise to start slowly, perhaps half the recommended dose initially, then increase as tolerated. Taken correctly and consistently, curcumin is well tolerated by most men. In practice, the men who make the greatest strides are those who combine curcumin with consistent diet upgrades and light physical activity, especially short morning walks or stretching after their supplement. These small additions enhance oxygen delivery and ensure that these powerful molecules are reaching the tissues where they're needed most. I've watched hundreds of men reclaim their energy, clarity, and confidence, not through complex regimens or experimental drugs, but by returning to the fundamental truth that the body is capable of healing itself, especially when the right tools are supplied consistently. So here's my prescription for you. Tomorrow morning, begin. Take 1 spoonful of high-quality curcumin with your breakfast, preferably a meal with healthy fats. Pair it with a walk, a tall glass of water, or a moment of stillness to signal a new beginning. Choose 1 Mediterranean meal per day to start, and let that meal become the standard to build the rest of your eating around. In doing so, you're not just taking care of your circulation. You're investing in your ability to think clearly, move freely, love completely, and live fully. The ritual becomes more than habit. It becomes a daily act of agency, of self-respect, and of progress. Now you know, what slows down after 60 doesn't have to stay that way. A single spoon of a proven, powerful natural ingredient, taken correctly each morning, can support your circulation, your energy, your confidence, and your connection. You've also seen how pairing that simple act with the right way of eating, a Mediterranean-inspired pattern, can amplify every benefit, from better blood flow to clearer thinking and stronger physical performance. This isn't complicated, it isn't gimmicky, and it isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's for every man determined to take back control of his vitality, to wake up each day with steadier steps, a sharper mind, and the quiet, unshakable confidence of knowing that your best years are far from over. So here's your challenge. Start tomorrow. A small spoon at breakfast, a cleaner meal at lunch, light movement to get the blood flowing. Do it not because you have to, but because you deserve to feel strong again. And if this message spoke to something inside you, hit that like button, subscribe to join a community of men reclaiming their health, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it too. Your comeback story begins with one choice. One morning. One unstoppable belief: you're not finished. You're just getting started.